going to do this one from my phone today. And I'm also going to do it by the pool. So we just put our outdoor couch outside. Finally. Not that it's been a bad thing. This has been a great couch. But we had this inside for the last 4 months or so, just getting through the rainy season, because it just doesn't make any sense to put something like this outside when it's raining out. But now we have a great new couch inside, and yeah, super grateful for that, and well worth the wait, because yeah, now that we understand the seasons here, we know what this weather can do to furniture and, you know, everything, quite honestly, you know, like concrete in general and rocks, and yeah, it's pretty abrasive. So anyways, I'm going to take advantage of that. I'm going to sit out here for my live tonight. And I just bought myself 10 minutes after picking up the kids and bringing them home here, and I get some daddy time right now. So I'm going to make this one fairly short. And I was thinking about this as I was driving to pick up the kids. It was Friday at about 4 p.m. And we live like 2 blocks away from the heart of Tamarindo, which is pretty hopping on the best of days, but especially on a Friday, the first week of January. Like it was hopping. There was a lot of people down there. There was coolers being dragged across the street, surfboards everywhere, lots of drinks being drunk on the side of the road, and just a party atmosphere. Like you could imagine what it's like going to spring break. Like we literally live in the spring break location. So what was coming up for me, and I'm just going to move over here so it's a little easier to sit, so I don't have to sit sideways. What was coming up for me was that it is so easy to get caught into the trap of, I'm on vacation all the time. We live in this gorgeous place, and, you know, a cerveza is like 50 cents if you get it from the grocery store. Maybe $2 if you buy it from a corner store. Not even that. Yeah, it's about $2. It's about $1.75. And then even at a restaurant, it's only like $3 type thing. So it's very easy to just grab a beer. It's 32 degrees Celsius here every single day. And in the first 4 months that we've been here, I cut down my own alcohol consumption considerably. And I did it very consciously for a couple of reasons. One was, quite frankly, you know, if you drink a lot here and you wake up the next day and it's super hot, you don't want to do anything. So it just like ruins your day. And naturally, drinking in general just does not make your next day great. But it's even more so when you're just out in the sun all the time. But secondly, and I talked about this on a podcast that I did with Ryan Peters, who's down here in Tamarindo with me. He's been here for about 8 years. But we talked about on the podcast this idea that my first all-inclusive vacation was to Mexico in like 2003. And at that time, we were leaving from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, and it was like minus 37 when we left. And we landed in Mexico, and we had a beer in our hands as soon as we got through customs, and I didn't put one down until we got back on the plane, and then I probably had a couple more on the way home just to take the edge off. And I recognized right then that, like, that is not a way to live. And quite frankly, it was also a wake-up call, too, for 2 reasons. One, to say, why am I leaving this place? Why don't I just figure out a way to live a life where I can be in Mexico or be in the sun, be on the beach, all that kind of stuff. But then also, too, knowing full well that I can't operate like that if I live here. Like, I have to get into habits and ways of being, create ways of being that allow me to live my best life, which is to get the kids after school, take them down to the beach, take out the little surfboards, go for a rip, come home, cook some stuff on the barbecue, maybe slide into the pool at nighttime. You can see we got lights on here too, so it's just gorgeous in this backyard in the evening as well, as long as you can handle the bugs. There's a lot of bugs in Costa Rica. But I think the biggest thing I wanted to just express here today is I still get those urges though, like even today, there was part of me that thought, maybe I should just bring a beer with me and have a beer on the way to go and to pick up the kids. It's Friday and it's like, there's an energy to here and it's 32 degrees out and I can see the waves and people are out surfing. I'm like, yeah, this is the life. But then I thought, that's not going to serve me. It's just not going to serve me. And this isn't to be preachy at anybody that chooses to drink, because I choose to drink. I have not made any attempt or have had any desire to completely quit drinking. Now, that might change at some point. I might say one day, I'm done. But it'll be my choice. What I do choose now, though, is to consciously make choices that will not only serve me in the moment, knowing that, yeah, that 1-2 beer buzz feels really good, but then it feels like shit by 8 o'clock if I stop. And then I know that feeling, because then you're like, well, I may as well have one more. And then I may as well have one more. And before you know it, you got the 4 beer buzz going on. And then you truly feel like shit the next day. And then it ruins my Saturday. And one of the things that I've committed to at the start of this year, and even going back into like mid-December when I started doing the habit tracking and committing to daily practices and micro actions with Mike Prince, the two of us keeping each other accountable, was to just know that my morning routine that starts between 5 to 5:30 type thing, like that can't be a Monday to Friday. It can't be a Monday to Friday. It's got to be an everyday. It's got to be a non-negotiable. And I don't get up at 5 in the morning when I've had 4 beers. If I do, I drag my ass out of bed and then I struggle through all of my routine of breath work and coffee, or not even coffee, breath work and push-ups and then coffee and water, of course, too. I crush a big glass of water before I do any of that stuff. And then I kind of, live in a haze for the rest of the morning type thing until I finally come around and like, okay, now I feel good. But then I burn out at the end of the day again. And that shit just doesn't serve me no more. I know that I get to take care of myself in micro actions that will set me up in the moment and in the future. And it can be felt and experienced as soon as a few hours later, and especially the next day. And I just wanted to say that out loud, because maybe somebody is watching this right now and thinking, my God, man, you're living the life. Look at this, living in paradise. But yes, and living in paradise and operating how I used to. And I'm just, I'm talking about 2003, but, even before we moved here, I was drinking way too much. Way too much, probably having 2 to 5 ounces of whiskey a night, right before we came here too. There was part of me that was still in this routine of drinking, just kind of like settle myself down, bring myself down at the end of the day. And then I made a choice, and I knew that when I moved here that I didn't want to do that anymore. And I had to replace that habit with healthier habits. And that's one thing that I've definitely picked up in multiple places, watching videos, reading books, experiencing it. But if we go into our new year wanting to get rid of something as our resolution, like I'm going to quit drinking, I'm going to quit smoking, I'm going to quit whatever, I'm going to quit quitting. Instead of, I'm going to do this positive thing for myself, and then naturally I'm going to want to quit those other things, because I'm going to realize that it actually doesn't serve me when I'm trying to live my greatest life, to feel my best, to have the most energy that I can when I'm with my kids, and to be able to go and do fun, cool shit, because now I can get up at 5 in the morning and get my morning routine done. I'm done by 7. The kids are up. We're having breakfast together. We're getting to spend good quality time together. And then we can plan our day, and I'm not operating in a haze. So that's what I wanted to say. And that wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. There was part of me that was a little bit nervous about even saying out loud my own struggles with drinking over the years. And there's another thing that I know to be true now too, and it's from my own, exploration this past year around ego. How do I kill my ego? You can't. it's always there, just like your bad habits. They don't just disappear. You just make a choice to be better. You just make a choice to replace them with things that serve you. And then know that that will make you stronger when you get the urges for those things that no longer serve you. That was a huge unlock for me. And it wasn't like I didn't know it intellectually before, but now I really understand it because I feel it and I'm embodying it and I know what it feels like. And I don't want to compromise on that. And I want to show you guys, is this? Oh, I thought that was a big ass spider on the wall. It was just like a little piece of twine or something. But yeah, there's all kinds of adventurous stuff that happens in this backyard. We actually, I don't know if you can see this, but this gravel that's in between the rocks here, the other day it was all dug up, and I, texted the owner of the house and just said, hey, I think we might have some rodents, just an FYI, in case you want to, look into it. And the guy that comes and takes care of the pool and looks after the yard and stuff confirmed that, nope, those are crabs. And I thought, crabs? How is there crabs up here? Like, we're still quite a ways from the beach, even though it's only a 5-minute walk. But like for a crab that's like this size, because they're just little tiny ones, it's quite a distance. But he was saying that like there's some rivers that just run just on the other side of these trees that go down into Tamarindo Beach, and they come up from there. And he said that I think this is the time of the year where there's a lot of them, so we can expect to see a few more holes being dug in some of the gravel rocks and stuff. I guess they like to dig holes. Go figure. So that's it. That is my my truth unscripted for the day. I'm actually doing these because it's allowing me to just show up and speak out loud what's on my mind. And I am taking these and I'm downloading them and I'm going to put them onto my podcast as well, because it is the Trevor Turnbull Show, and you are witnessing the Trevor Turnbull Show in its raw, uncut form right now. So what better way to create content and put it out into the world than to actually just speak my truth, and hopefully somebody hears something that I say it and it inspires them to just move in the direction of their intentions, which hopefully those are to live their greatest life. And I'm witness that it's not perfect. But when you commit to it and you surround yourself with good people, you increase your odds significantly of living that best life. So thanks so much if you watch this, and have a great weekend. See ya.
Thanks so much for listening to this episode of the Trevor Turnbull Show. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, please consider subscribing on my YouTube channel, as well as on your favorite podcast platform. So until next time, remember, today is a beautiful day of opportunity. Trust that you are exactly where you're supposed to be. So be grateful, be curious, and be brave.